Hello students, welcome back to my 10 minutes math channel. This is teacher Brenda here, and today we would look into the topic of time, part 6, in which we will explore what is the 12 and 24-hour system. Okay, so as you know, one day we have 24 hours. However, we have two systems of reading time. Okay, so the first system is when we use or what we call as the 12-hour system. All right, and the second system is known as the 24-hour system. Of course, it makes sense, right? We have 24 hours in a day, so we should probably be using the 24-hour system. Yes, you are right. You would see this system being used mainly like at places like airports or train stations or even bus schedules, okay? And the 12-hour system is probably more of what we see at a clock face like this at home, okay? So let's first go to the 12-hour system and explore what is it, okay? So here we go. Now over here you see the question, when does the day start? Now all of us know that the day begins at 12 midnight, okay? So at midnight, it's practically, let's say early morning, okay? So it's 12 midnight, then it goes to 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. That's when the day starts. So at 1 o'clock in the morning, you would say that as 1 a.m., okay, which means that this is the first hour of the day. At 2 o'clock in the morning, it is 2 a.m., which means this is the second hour of the day. At 3 o'clock in the morning, okay, this would be 3 a.m., it's the third hour of the day. Subsequently, fourth hour, fifth, sixth, and this part is pretty much dark because it's early in the morning, okay? The sun has not risen up yet. So at probably 6 or 7, then you know the sky starts to become a little bright, but still it's AM. Now AM stands for end meridian. It's the first 12 hours of the day. 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and finally it will be at 12 o'clock right in the afternoon. So from 12 midnight, okay, which is AM, okay, when the clock or the hours of the day goes 12 hours is completed, then you would reach exactly 12 in the afternoon, and that's known as midday, and that's when PM starts. PM means post meridian, AM means end meridian. So it means that this is midday, AM is before midday, the 12 hours before midday, and PM is the 12 hours after midday. Midday means right in the afternoon. So this clock here shows us 3 o'clock. However, because you can see over here, it's in the noon, so it's PM. Now what happens? So what happens at 12 o'clock? At 12 o'clock, exactly 12 hours of the day has passed. Usually you are in school, or probably, one of your last lessons in school, or probably having your lunch at home at 12 o'clock, which means 12 hours have gone. But the clock goes back to point us at 1 o'clock. Now, it doesn't mean we are getting back at 1 hour of the day, the first hour of the day. No, this is now the 13th hour of the day. And this is what makes the difference between the 12 o'clock or the 12-hour system and the 24-hour system. In the 12-hour system, okay, the 24 days is divided into AM, 12 hours in AM and 12 hours in PM. So the clock makes 2 cycles around, 2 rotations around the clock face. 12 hours for the first 12 hours of the day and another 12 hours for the next 12 hours of the day. And together we will have 24 hours. So the 12-hour system precisely refers to you using AM and PM. So when somebody says, okay, I finished school at 12:30 PM. When they say something like that, when they put that word PM there, it means they are referring or they are using time in the 12-hour system. Okay, that's what it means. Of course, not everybody uses the 12-hour system. There's this thing called the 24-hour system as well. So over here, there's a little bit more explanation on what you do usually in the 12-hour system. For example, I wake up in the morning at 5 a.m. So if you notice, the a.m. word will be there. I go to school at 7 a.m. All this shows that you are using the 12-hour system. I eat my lunch at 12 p.m. I play football at 5 p.m. I have my dinner at 7 p.m. So a.m., p.m., a.m., p.m. It could be even 10:30 where you have minutes coming in. It doesn't matter. But when they use a.m. or p.m., it means they're using the 12-hour system. So that's 12 hours. Let's move on now to understand the 24-hour system. Okay, so what is this 24 hours? Now, remember earlier, I told you that the clock makes 2 rotations. Now, so the first hour of the day is at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6th hour, 7th hour, 8th hour, 9th hour, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, right at midday, 12 hours, 12 o'clock. But the day still goes on. 13th hour, 14th hour, which is 2 o'clock, 15th hour, which is 3 o'clock, 16th hour of the day, which is 4 o'clock, 17th hour of the day, which is 5 o'clock, 18th hour, you can see here, 18th hour of the day, 7 o'clock in the evening is 19th hour of the day, 8 o'clock at night is the 20th hour of the day, 9 o'clock at night is the 21st hour of the day, 10 o'clock at night is the 22nd hour of the day, and so on, 23rd hour, and finally 24 hours, and back at 12 midnight. So you see, it's almost like making a second rotation. Okay, so the 12-hour system, okay, when you write, you do not use AM or PM anymore. Okay, you do not use these words or these phrases AM or PM. There is no more AM, PM. But instead, if you want to say 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you would say that as the 13th hour, and you would write it like this. So it's like made up of 4 digits. Okay, as you can see here, the 24-hour clock is made up of 4 digits. The first 2 digits, okay, it's like almost read together. It shows the hours. And the next 2 digits shows the minutes. So the first 2 digits here show 13. 13 is 1 o'clock. Okay, and so you write 1. And the minutes, these 2 digits show the minutes. 00 means it's exactly at 12. 00 minutes. So you put a dot and you put here. Now, since 1300, okay, how do you read this? You read this as 1300 hours. This word is super important. You must mention hours. You don't say 1300 p.m. You don't say 1300 a.m. No, that's wrong. You would say 1300 hours. And that converts to 1 p.m. And this is super important. Okay? So because 1 a.m. it's completely different. If I wanted to show 1 a.m., okay, 1 a.m. would be, because it's just the first hour of the day, right? So the first 2 digits will show the hours. So it will be 0, 1. And then the next 2 digits will show the minutes. So that will also be 00. So that's exactly 1 o'clock in the morning. 0100 hours. That means it's 1 o'clock in the morning. So let's look at more questions, okay? Over here, these are examples of real life, okay, where you will see the 24-hour system being used. Sometimes they put a double colon, in between the time slots, but usually you don't have to, okay? You would read it as, how do you read this? You would read this as 1300, 1400, 1500, 1600, 1700 hours. Don't forget the word hours, okay? And then this is 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m, okay? And that's how it goes. Remember, the first 12 hours of the 24-hour system doesn't really make much difference. It's like more like if I wrote this 0930, which means this is the hours and this is the minutes. So it's pretty much the same. It's like just telling this is 9 hours and 30 minutes. It's 9:30 in the morning. it only becomes the 13th hour when it crosses 12 o'clock midnight. 12 o'clock noon. Okay, so that's when you get the 13th hour, and that's 1 o'clock. Okay, let's move on and see other questions here. There are some questions here. How do you read them now? So another important thing is reading the time in 24-hour system. Okay, there are some examples here. Let's go through them. Hold on, let me change this color. Okay, so you see here, this shows, the 13 here shows the hours and the 20 here shows the minutes. Okay, but you don't have to put any separation or a comma or a point in between them. You don't have to do any of that. You write it out like a 4-digit number, and you must mention the word hours. Now, how would you read this? You read this in pairs. You read the hours and you read the minutes separately. So over here, the hours show 13. So that's why you say 13. And then the minutes here show 20. So you say 20. So it's 13, 20 hours. Okay, again, over here, the hours, and over here, the minutes. So you read this now individually. Individually, you read 09 and then you read 07 hours. Okay, if it's not like a number like 13 or 14. Now over here, this number is read together. So it's already 10. So you read it as 10. But over here, you have still 06. So you read it as 06 for the second part, for the minutes part. And you say the word hours. Over here, you don't have to say 00. 10 is sufficient. And since it's like the minutes is 34, you don't say 34, you say 34. Okay, that shows your minutes. And this is your hour. And then finally over here, another example. So this is read as 15. So this is for the hours. And since it's complete, it's 00, then you read this as 100. It's weird that you don't say this as 100. Okay, but you say this, the minutes part, as 100. All right. So these are some little differences. And what about converting them to the 12-hour system? So that's the other thing. So when you have 13, 20 hours, you know 13 is the 13th hour of the day, which means it's 1 o'clock. Okay, so, and that 20 means it's 20 minutes. So you write your 20, and then you know this is already way past 12 midday or noon. So you write there PM. Now, what about 0907 hours? So it's 9, okay, and 07. And since it's before 12, okay, 0907, it's still morning. So you write AM. It's 9:07 in the morning. Now, how about this? 10:06. So again, 10 is for the hour. You put your dot now, and then 06 is for your minutes. So it's 10:06 AM. So remember, anything more than 12 hours, then when it becomes afternoon, PM. Anything before 12, it's still AM, okay? It's still in the first half of the day, okay? Then over here, 0034. 00 means it's 12, midnight. Okay, it's somewhere at midnight. So that's 00. So 12, and then 34 shows the minutes. So it's 34. Now, is this going to be AM or PM? Yeah, if it's 00, it is midnight. So it's AM. Now, what would the time be if it's 12:34 PM? If it's 12:34 PM, okay, how do you write this in the 24-hour system? Would be, you would just write 12:34 hours. That's how it will look like, because it's 12 hours, 34 minutes of the day. Okay, however, 0:34 hours is actually 12:34 in the morning. Okay, 0 refers to 12 in the morning. The start of the day is not even an hour yet. It's only 34 minutes the day has begun. Okay, that's why you have this 00, because it has not even clocked an hour yet. Now let's look at this 1500 hours. So 15, you know, it's way past 12. So if 12 is exactly 12 midday, then you'd have 13 at 1 o'clock, 14 at 2 o'clock, and 15 at 3 o'clock. So this would be 3. And since the minutes is 0, so you'll put a dot and you'll put there 0, and this would definitely be PM. So I hope you can understand this messy diagram over here, okay? And we'll move on to a few questions here. Okay, so 11, convert from 12-hour clock to 24-hour clock. You're obviously going to see questions like this. How do you do this? 11:15 PM. So look here. There's a little bit of guide here. So 11, okay, look at 11. This is if you use 11 o'clock in the morning, but 11 o'clock at night would be the 23rd hour of the day. So this, since this is PM, so you are going to write 23 for the 11, and don't put any dot, nothing in between, and just write 15 for the minute, and do not forget the word hours. Okay, so this is how you answer. Now look at this, number 2, 7:45 AM. So this is still the first 7 hours of the day. So 07, the first 7 hours of the day, nothing in between, and 45 minutes. So it's 07:45, 07:45 hours. Okay, that is how you read or convert, okay, from 12-hour system to the 24-hour system. 2 more examples, 8:37 AM. So which means what? We still have 8 hours only of the day we have started. So it's 08, nothing in between, 37, and then write the word hours. And finally, 10 PM, exactly at 10 PM. So 10 PM means 22nd hours, 22 hours of the day has gone. So you'll write 22 hours and there's no minutes. So you write 00. So it's 2200 hours. Okay, that's how you read it, 2200 hours. Now, vice versa, convert from the 24-hour clock to the 12-hour clock. 20:15. So 20 is here, 20th hour of the day. So it's 8 o'clock at night. So you write 8. Okay, and then you put your dot now. Okay, and 15 here shows it's not going to change, still 15 minutes. So it's 8:15. Now you got to decide now whether it's AM or PM. Now obviously this is already PM because 20th hour of the day. So write your PM. Number 2, 7:38. Okay, convert this to 12-hour. Okay, actually by right, they should write here 0738 hours. Okay, this is how the question should be, 0738 hours. Okay, 2015 hours. Okay, 1300 hours, 1525 hours. So 0738 means it's the 7th hour of the day, which means 7. 38 minutes means 38 minutes. And since it's still in the morning, this is AM. Over here, 1300 hours. 13 is very simple. It's 1 o'clock. So if you write 1, put your minutes 0, and then obviously it's PM. And then 1525. 15 is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So you write 3. Okay, and then you put your dot, you put your point, and then you write your 25 minutes. Okay, and of course, obviously, this is PM. So if you can remember this, okay, how do you remember it? Start with 0. That's the start of the day. Okay, so first hour of the day, 12 midnight it starts. Okay, first hour, second hour, third hour, fourth hour, until 12 hours AM and 12 hours PM. But for 24-hour clocks, 24-hour system, you have the 13th hour, the 14th hour, 15th hour, 16th. You can just draw it out, okay, and get a practice on drawing this and understanding how the 24-hour clock sit, together with the 12 hours clock. And that will make your life easier, I suppose, when it comes to answering such questions. Okay, then I end my session for today. And if you like the video, you learned from it, you enjoyed it, please like and share. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Stay safe.